Worksheet B number 10A part 3. It says, do you nullify or reject the null? Number 1, give a valid reason. So right now, we've got to focus on what null number 1 is saying and compare that statement to what the data is saying to see whether or not we reject or we do not reject the null. So here is what the null is saying. The null is saying that the population mean is equal to 80. Okay. Or it is saying that it is more than or equal to 80. That's what the null is saying. That is why I prefer that second version, the null having the inequality sign in the opposite direction with the alternative and the equal sign. Because if you take all the inequality sign from the null, it's like you deleting a statement. If you look at this, there are only two statements. The mean is equal to 80, the mean is less than 80. But if you look at to the one on the right, there are three statements. The mean is more than 80, the mean is equal to 80, or the mean is less than 80. So that's why I prefer the more than or equal to. So I'm not too sure why it is trending to just put equal sign for the null. Probably to simplify things. I'm not too sure, but I prefer it that way. Because when you look at what the null is saying here, the mean is equal to 80. And the alternative is saying the mean is less than 80. When you look at what the data is saying, the data is saying 88.9. The mean is 88.9. And according to this, none of the statements are correct because here you have the mean is equal to 80 and the mean is less than 80. Okay? But here now you have the mean is more than or equal to 80. And you can see that the mean is more than or equal, the mean is more than 80. It is 88.9. Okay, it's more than or equal to 80, it's 88.9. So the null, based on that, you may not want to reject the null because the null is in agreement with what the data is saying. Okay. The alternative is saying the mean is less than 80, which does not seem to be the case. Okay, the data is saying, no, the mean is 88.9, which is more than or equal to 80, which is more than 80. So in that regard, it makes sense not to reject the null. So here we are typing, do not reject the null. And one of the reasons, because the mean is 88.9, which is more than 80. And actually the median and the mode actually confirms that because they are the three averages. So even more so, the median is 91.5 and the mode is 99. Although the mode is not very important in analysis, but the median is even more than the mean, which even confirms that we do not reject the null because, as you can see, the data is saying that the mean is not less than 80, the mean is more than or equal to 80. And bear in mind, we are doing this in an informal basis, on a visual basis. When it comes to worksheet C, we will do this hypothesis testing on a more formal basis. But here, you are being introduced to the concept using a visual basis to do that. Because there are more formal steps to take to really decide if you should reject the null or not. More rigorous analysis apart from just a visual comparison.